Hey everyone, welcome back to Stocky Talky. So before I get into the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Another red day. I mean, we're still riding this wedge up, right? I still am not panicking at all. I mean, what we're waiting to see what happens over there in Russia and Ukraine. But if you go back and look at historical charts, I mean, the markets are gonna go up. There's an upward trajectory that markets stay to, right? Like they correct, they may even crash, but at the end of the day, if you buy and hold, you're going to make it through this. That's all I gotta say. So you can see we're definitely under the 20-day MA. We're just riding this up, right? We're going into a long weekend. Everything was red today. If you go into the NASDAQ here, we're down 1%. In the NASDAQ. RSI is at 36. But what we really care about here is Tesla. I mean, there's nothing that Tesla can do right now. All the big boys are putting out the same kind of thing. Like NVIDIA had amazing earnings and they're getting pounded too. It's not an individual company doing anything wrong. It's market turbulence, right? Like the good news is though with Tesla, this is what excites me for Tuesday, pending nothing happens over in the Ukraine, right? We did fill the gap down here at 842 today. So let me just double check. Days range. Yeah, we got all the way down to 837. So that's the good news. But if we go over here, look at this. This is the forecast chart for Tesla, right? What the average analyst is kind of predicting. So 31.57% off of for the upside right now in the middle range, the average range for analysts. So think about if you're buying right now, you're getting a 31.57% return within 12 months. And then if you go to the high side, we're talking about a $1,580 price target there for the high side. And obviously the high side kind of is correlated to mine. I'm thinking 1,600. So those are nice numbers to see. And again, guys, always remember buying the dip is the most important thing. If we come over here, look at NVIDIA's PE now, $61. Let's go to Tesla. Let's see what Tesla's PE is today. Down to 174. So it dropped 10 from yesterday even. I just want to kind of go over the financials here. So total assets, total current assets. So there's $17 billion in cash and cash equivalents, right? So that's a number I like to see. Let's go to total liabilities here. Current liabilities, $19 billion. So, I mean, if everything crashed, Tesla's not going under, in my opinion. Obviously, I like to see more cash and cash equivalents than liabilities. But, I mean, there's some companies out there that don't even have that kind of balance sheet. So Tesla's more profitable. They're doing great things. Look at this earnings to revenue. Like it's heading in the right direction. The market is actually, if you look at the MMRI here, the risk in the market's actually gone down. It was at 120 eventually. The MMRI was at 151 the other day. Now it's at 143. So make of it what you will. These indicators are saying risk in the market is actually reducing. Now, obviously, and he keeps saying this because we don't until this Ukraine-Russia thing is over, in the short term, we have no freaking clue where the markets could go. It could go up 1%, down 1%. And when the NASDAQ goes up 1%, Tesla goes up 3%. When the NASDAQ's down 1%, it's down 3 or 4, so we aren't going to know until this Russia FUD is out of the way. But anytime in history, buying dips has worked. So that's all I'll say. There's another thing I wanted to show you guys with regard to Tesla stock and the kind of returns you could, what I'm expecting to get, and just a fun way to kind of play around with this. The compound calculator here. I haven't done this in a while, so I figured I may as well cover it. So I'll start off with just an average person who's just looking to get $5,000 into the stock market. And I'll set what I think Tesla's return will be annually to I personally believe 40% for the next like at least 7 to 8 years. So I'll put this at, let's say 10. Let's see how quickly we can get to $250,000, right? So monthly, yeah, okay. We're depositing, let's say $100 a month. Calculate. So starting balance $5,000, additional deposits $12,000 worth. By 10 years, you'll have $406,000 in there if you just continually invest in Tesla. So I'll just go off of one of my accounts. I have about 225, 1, 2, 3 in Tesla. So calculate that. Let's say I don't add anything. Well, there we go. That'll be nice. 10 years, 11.5 million. That's if I don't get screwed over by the bank run. But even 5 years, I'm over actually 4 years, I'm at the million mark in that one account. So that would be nice. And let's do for people out there with 50,000, 1, 2, 3, right? You 40%. Let's say it's 35%. 10 years. Yep. Okay. Calculate. Putting no money in. There you go. $1.5 million. Now let's see what happens if you just do this. You follow the S&P. 12 years. And you know what? You're following the S&P, so you might be conservative. You're putting $250 in there a month. You will have 222,000. So that's always good to look at, guys. Play around with that. I'll put the link for this in the bio. I actually found this specific compound calculator from Chicken Genius Singapore. And then I'll also put the MMRI and MMMRI and the MMRI in my description. But yeah, just to finish it off quickly, I'll go back to the NASDAQ here. You can see this little support line I've drawn out from here to here around the like 14,100-ish range. Right now, we're kind of dancing on it, right? So it'll be super interesting to see, do we break below this, right, and find a new floor? Is this going to kind of be like, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2018, we had a pretty significant correction. Honestly, it kind of feels like this one. You can see it was in December. And if you zoom in here, we just, so many times, it just felt like, okay, like this is the bottom right here. Oh, no, now this is the bottom. And then we went up and it was like, oh no, here's the bottom. So in my opinion, this could be that same kind of feeling where it's like, oh, well, here's the bottom. Oh no, up. And then, oh, maybe down here is the bottom. Maybe one more, like, you know, so all you can do in these kind of markets is have confidence in the positions you've created. I am super comfortable holding a great company like Tesla. Listen, the swings I've been through in Tesla are just nuts. Like if you go down, I bought 62 shares pre-split, probably about like $58 each, right around here through November of 2019, all the way like from August till like about November, I was buying in. Every penny I made, I was buying and putting it into that. So then we get this. I remember it like it was yesterday. We get this run up. I went from having, I can't remember the numbers exactly, but I went from having like $15,000, $20,000 in my accounts. And maybe I'm off. Maybe it was like 30,000. But on this run, I remember, I'll never forget, I was in Vancouver and I looked at my bank account every day, 5%, 7%, 5%. And I'm like, holy shit, I have like $75,000 in my accounts now. Like it was life changing. And then I was in Kenya and I decided like an idiot. This is the biggest mistakes I've ever made. I sold 20 shares right here. Like right around here, it dropped. I never bought them back. And over time, I eventually accumulated those 20 shares, which is now what? 5 times 20? Like, I don't know. But I have slowly accumulated. Now I'm at like 359, but post-split. But I'll never forget watching this climb back up and going, oh my God, what have I done? I've missed out. I missed out on money you just can't. Those opportunities don't come around. And when you always think about what you're doing when you sell a position, thinking you're going to time the market. That's what I'm saying right now. If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to sell out right now, and the market's going to go down here to the SPY's going to be at 397, or sorry, Tesla's going to be at 397 or 720. I know it. And then it runs up to 1500, and you're sitting there like, what was I thinking? Panic can be a beast. And the same thing happened to me with Amazon stock. I think it was 2018 the summer of 2018 when I had like about 8 months of investing experience, I bought Amazon 800, right? And I sold it after about 3 months, not understanding that sometimes stocks trade sideways. And now it's 3,500, 4,000, so just I've had those experiences where I felt like I was panicking. I thought I could time it, and I got bit. So it's just something that people need to go through, and that's why I like buying and holding and just being aware of market, like what could happen in the market, more so than trying to time it. Look what's happening in Canada right now. There is a bank run happening in Canada. So I'm Canadian, right? I have my money in TD. This makes me nervous. This makes me want to get out of TD Bank and go into another bank where I can actually trust that they're not going to do crazy crap that's going to make everyone go berserk just because one person in power says something and makes people who donated to a GoFundMe that wasn't illegal and tells them they're going to have all their money frozen so they can't feed their families. That is ridiculous. So that scares me a little bit. I have my money in these banks. If there's a bank run, these banks only actually have like 2 to 5% of the cash that they claim to have. Like, it's just insane. And no one's covering. Look at this. Outages reported at RBC. Look at these charts. Come over here. Look at this. Scotiabank. Look at this. It's just nuts. So, I mean, what's happening up in Canada is just like, if you don't see what's happening right now, it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, I'm luckily in Florida, and I'm going to figure out what bank is not nuts that I can actually put my money in and feel confident that it's not going to be screwed around with just because some nutcase who wants to be, you know what, just wants every bank to just bend the knee. I mean, guys, it's not a good situation. So at one point today, I was literally like, oh my gosh, should I just pull all my money out and put it in Ethereum and until I find a bank? I'm not even joking. I wish I were.